Welcome to yet another interesting episode of the program Back to Farm. My name is Joshua Isha, your guide. Today on the program, we'll be looking at cocoyam processing and utilization. Cocoyam, popularly called colossia sap, is a taproot, starchy and globular fleshy food or edible aroid family that grows well in sandy loamy soil that is not waterlogged. It performs better in loamy soil with a good water retention capacity. Notably, cocoyam cultivation is for over a long period to meet the nutritional needs of about 400 million people around the world, especially among population in developing countries of the world, which include Asia, the Pacific Island, and West Africa sub-region. Nigeria and Ghana are the world-leading countries in the production of cocoyam, where it is commonly grown among smallholder farmers and contribute immensely to address the problem of food insecurity. Well, to further elaborate on the topic, stay tuned on your first agricultural TV station and take a look.
Nigeria and Ghana are the world's leading countries in the production of cocoyam, where it's commonly grown among smallholders farmers and contributes immensely to address the problem of food security. Cocoyam is rich in calories, mainly derived from complex carbohydrates, with some quantities of fats and proteins. Their protein level is nearly the same level as that of yam, cassava, and potato. It is one of the major sources of dietary fibers and thus adds essential value to the human nutritional assortment. Several studies have reported that apart from carbohydrates, which are easily digestible due to the small size of the starch granules, cocoyam contains vitamin thiamine, riboflavin, and niacin, and minerals in reasonable amounts. These nutrients give cocoyam nutritional advantage over other numerous roots and tubers. Cocoyam can be processed using different unit operations such as boiling, roasting, frying, and milling. It can be converted to fufu, soup, thickness, porridge, and specialty food for gastrointestinal disorders, among others. They are either eaten boiled or fried to make crispy chips. The leaf stalks can be prepared like other vegetables and consumed with solid foods. Cocoyam can further be processed into poi, flour sun-dried slices, grits, and drum-dried flakes. Proper processing of cocoyam will give a good source of starch for industrial application, which can give corns good potential for new product development. Cocoyam crops, when properly stabilized, will add market value, and this will greatly improve its utilization in countries that are producing cocoyam above human food consumption need. However, cocoyam also contains oxalates, which gives acrid taste to the food when prepared, which limits its utilization and also interfere with the bioavailability of calcium in the material. Mechanical damage to the corns during harvest lead to microbial attack, which causes high post-harvest loss of corn during storage. Cocoyams contain on the average of 25% starch, with a type structures characterized by small granule size. Non-starch polysaccharides in cocoyam lead to gummy properties of the starch. However, mishandling of raphides, crystals of calcium oxalate, and other components during harvest produce negative effects with several levels of discomfort on the human system when it is consumed raw. Despite hardness of cocoyam corns compared with other roots, and tuber crops, they are very susceptible to physical injury during harvesting and post-harvest operations. These are responsible for losses that were estimated to be around 15% approximately. Incidence of pest invasion is at high rates. Such cases, the snail reducing losses by up to 60% in worst affected areas. In spite of the huge nutritional importance of cocoyam, its corn is highly prone to being perishable due to poor harvesting, lack of appropriate storage facility, and nature of cocoyam itself. Its moisture contains speed up the activity of pests and diseases. Processing of cocoyam to stable product is a way of reducing its post-harvest losses and increasing its potential in food and industrial application. Therefore, this documentary of cocoyam utilization and also makes recommendation on innovations that can extend its shelf life. Complex group of vitamins such as pyridoxine, folate, riboflavin, pantothenic acid, and thiamine. Cocoyam is prone to microbial attack and deterioration because of its high water content, which contributed to the short shelf life of the corn. The leaves are used in feeding pigs because of their nutritive values. The leaves are a good source of vitamin A and C and contain a reasonable amount of protein that the corn's cocoyam richness in B6 makes it good for controlling high blood pressure and protect the heart. Cocoyam contains some dietary fiber, which helps in regulating bowel health, lowering cholesterol level, and controlling blood sugar levels. Cocoyam flesh of about 100 grams provides 1.1 gram or 11 of recommended daily dietary fiber. The presence of slow digesting complex carbohydrate leads to a gradual rise in blood sugar levels. Cocoyam leaves have some phenolic flavonoid pigments antioxidants such as B-carotene along with vitamin A, which help to maintain healthy mucous membranes and vision. The corn provides minerals like zinc, magnesium, copper, iron, and calcium. It has low fat and sodium content, and this crop, when cutting, can aid the prevention of hardening of the arteries, which is attributed to eating food that are high in cholesterol. Drying can be used to draw arrows into flour for fufu, commonly eaten in Nigeria with stew. In Nigeria, most especially in the southeastern region, some quantity of tanya is used in soup thickener when boiling and pounding to obtain a consistent paste. Young taro leaves are used for vegetable in South Pacific, also with coconut cream to prepare a dish called lau that are eaten with boiled or roasted taro, burnt fruit, and banana. Cocoyam, like other roots and tuber, contains dietary energy, which is mainly carbohydrate. It has more carbohydrate than potatoes. About 100 grams provides 112 calories. It has low protein content. Other root crop proteins, which means that sulfur-containing amino acids are relatively small. However, it contains very low fats and protein than in cereals and pulses. The level of protein is almost the same as that of yam, cassava, potato, and banana. Despite their high starch content, cocoyam has a higher content of protein and amino acid than many other roots and tuber. The nutritional values of cocoyam are presented in the protein content of cocoyam is higher when compared to other tropical root crops. Cocoyam, however, is gluten-free and contains high-quality phytonutrition profile comprising of dietary fiber and antioxidants with a moderate quantity of minerals and vitamins. Valuable B-complex group of vitamins is also present in cocoyam, which includes pyridoxine, folate, fibrosine, pantothenic acid, thiamine. Also, the corn contains some important minerals like zinc, magnesium, copper, iron, and manganese. Studies have shown that major globulins form corn of taro by the authors observed the existence of two unrelated globulin families during roots development. Protein, which accounts for up to about 80% of total soluble tuber proteins. Cocoyam is very rich in thiamine, riboflavin, phosphorus, and zinc. Also source of vitamin B6, vitamin C, and niacin. It contains valuable. Let's look at cocoyam anti-nutritional factors. The presence of acrid in cocoyam restricts its use because of the nature of the corns that irritates upon ingestion and lower its palatability. The acridity when eaten raw causes swelling of the lips, mouth and throat, and also lead to scratchiness in the mouth and throat. Anti-nutritional and off-taste problems are always common to needle-like raphides of calcium oxalate crystals and other acidic proteinaceous factors. And Bradbury and Nixon have explained the acid level of cocoyam, which can result in mechanical or sharp raphides in puncturing the soft skin pore. Also explain the presence of one or more chemical irritants or raphid surfaces. The effect of cocoyam anti-nutritional factors include reduction of food and feed intake, which leads to depression, weight gain, and pancreatic hypertrophy in experimental animals, trypsin inhibitors or amylase inhibitors. Now, let's look at the uses of cocoyam. Cocoyam tubers are used in same ways like other roots and tuber, such as yam, potato, and cassava, and they can be converted into other products and can be used industrially, processing into stable chef food and adding value to cocoyam processing. Adding value to cocoyam could be done using the following processes: boiling, roasting, baking, frying in oil, pasting, milling, and pounding. And Not Venus and Lawrence also suggested the production of pasta from blends of wheat and taro flours. The common example is the Ghanaian fufu, a pounded form of boiled cocoyam. Other use include soup thickness and baking flours, beverages, porridge, and as food for people with gastrointestinal disorder. Taro starch could be used instead of maize as a binding agent in the manufacture of tablets. Cocoyam starch could be modified as for other industry starches. The high digestibility and small size of taro granules make it suitable for baby foods. Boiled corns are mashed form a weaning diet in West Africa. Experts have suggested that the process of formulation of weaning food with taro flour blended with the protein concentrate. The protein separate and lactobunin produce beer from cocoyam and reported that the product tastes better when assessed by local assessors. Purplish gray paste made from taro is sold commercially in plastic bars, jars, or cans. In Hawaii, easily digested and practically non-allergic, it is an excellent food for patients with specific health problems and recommendation to patients with food allergies. Patients allergic to certain grains can eat cocoyam with an adverse reaction. The preparation of cocoyam from taro involves pressure cooking of the corns, washing, peeling, trimming, grinding, steaming out the fibrous materials, and blending with water for 30% total slide. The process changes the distribution of the starch component. Lactobacilli fermentation of the poi is usually very rapid, with the first 24 hours of manufacturing, during which time the pH decreased from pH of 6.3 to pH of 4.5. After that, the acidity increased gradually and the pH dropped to 3.8 by the third day. The shelf life of the unrefrigerated poi is 3 to 4 days. Refrigeration makes it textural rubbery and changes the eating quality, thus it is not usually used. Canned fresh poi is an unfermented product containing 18% total solids to maintain a quality standard of 560 grams can. The heat process requires about 100 minutes of cooking time at 116 degrees centigrade. Can acidified. Poi is one of the unfermented products, usually less 4 hours old, to which 1% commercially grade lactic acid has been added. It usually contains 18% or more total solid, with a shelf life that is comparable to other canned food when subjected to gamma radiation, as a minimum of 7 kg increase. The shelf life of poi is 7.2 days, made by freezing dry with high dehydration quantity, which has acceptable nutritional status. Now, let's talk about cocoyam slices and chips. Cocoyam chips, prepared by deep fat frying like that of potato chips, can also be marketed. The criterion in making acceptable cocoyam chip is the choice of a variety that will lose the acidity factor during frying. In Nigeria, Raw cocoyam corn or kernels are cleaned, washed, boiled, peeled, cut into half-moon slices, about 1 centimeter thick, and sun-dried or smoked. They are packed in clay pots, shielded with dry leaves, and sealed with a mixture of smoked banana stems and clay. The dried or smoked slices are then stored in warm, dry places until needed for eating. Let's talk about cocoyam flour. Flour can be produced in different ways, but the common units of operation employed are peeling of fresh or pre-cooked corn and kernel slicing dry and grinding into flour. In commercial practice, the flour is produced by peeling the corn and kernels, slicing them and washing them thoroughly with water to remove speck of dirt. Pretreatment is done by immersion in 0.25 sulfurous acid for 3 hours. Finally, blanching of the slice is boiling water for 4 to 5 minutes and dry thoroughly at 57 to 60 degrees centigrade, after which the dry slices are milled into flour, which can be used in making fufu. Now, let's look at the industrial use of cocoyam. Industrial use of cocoyam is very limited. Although the starch contained of cocoyam, for instance, account for nearly 78 of its carbohydrate fraction, the granules of the cocoyam starch grains make them readily digestible as food materials but unsuitable as a source of industrial starch. The special quality attributes of cocoyam starch, which are important for industrial application, include particle size, pasting temperature, and amylose content. The particle size of starch of cocoyam set them apart distinctly from more familiar commercial starches. Comparison of the result of microscopy and laser light scattering studies show that several taro varieties have particle size of 1.0 to 6.5 mean diameter, compared with the rice starch at about 5 pm, which is the finest of the commonly available starch. Those taro starch can be used in place of other commercial starches. Contrarily, the starch of Tanya has large grains with diameter of 17 to 20 um. Cocoyam therefore covers unlikely wide range of particle size. In addition to particle size, pasting or gelation temperatures of starch is also important during processing and industrial application. Starch application technology highlights specific areas in which cocoyam properties of the starch can be applied in commercial industry. These areas include syrup, gums, modified atmosphere packaging, film fillers, modifiers, plastic, and renewable energy. That of sucrose and its desirable, inexpensive, and an easy-to-use sweetness, hence facilities for production can be built in areas where starch is available in sufficient amount, and expensive local uses include canning, jams, jellies, and soft drinks. Now, let's talk about cocoyam used to make gum production. Cocoyam contains a gum-like substance which swells in water and becomes hydrated. This gum has potential usefulness as an emulsifying, thickening, and smoothing agent for creams, suspensions, and other colloidal food preparations. Extraction of gum will also alter cocoyam properties of the product and reduce their thickness and viscosity. The processing of cocoyam in Nigeria is hampered by unavailability of machines and equipment to carry out various processing tasks. The engineering properties of cocoyam corn are yet to be properly evaluated, and as such, there is no empirical data to develop required processing equipment. It has been observed that need to determine the engineering properties to enhance post-harvest operations of root crops is important, and it cannot be overemphasized. The Cocoyam Rebirth for Food Security and Empowerment Program under National Root Crop Research Institute, UMODIKE, have identified various value-added products of cocoyam to include cocoyam crepes, high-quality flour for confectioneries, soup thickener, cocoyam fufu flour, achina chinchin, cocoyam queen cake, donut, and chips. The value addition will increase consumption by different categories of people, increase production and reduce spoilage in rice and reduce spoilage in storage. It can be used in making bread. Cocoyam corn can also be used for industrial purposes. About 97% of respondents in a research conducted in southwest Nigeria have cocoyam as part of their family menu. Apart from human consumption, cocoyam corn can be utilized as feed for animals. It is evident that even though a lot have been reported on cocoyam corns, very little attention has been given to post-harvest operation. To start the revolutionary study on post-harvest of cocoyam, comprehensive research on the engineering properties of the corn should be first. This is because design and development of machines and equipment for cocoyam post-harvest handling and operation cannot be done without the knowledge of these properties. Then an alternative to the prevalent traditional storage system should be developed to encourage farmers to produce more. Handling and processing techniques need to be researched further to widen value addition in cocoyam food chain.
The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria (ARCN) coordinates the activities of research institutes and is responsible for supervision, regulation, coordination of research activities and programs of higher institutions in Nigeria. I'm Professor Hamidu Shaributu since assumption as Executive Secretary of ARCN in April 2020 has solidified the transformation of agriculture in Nigeria through strategic and meaningful execution of research findings for improvement of the agricultural sector.
For grains, we have the parabolic solar dryers. These are specialized solar dryers used for drying agricultural produce such as whole grains, yam and cassava chips, fruits and vegetables more efficiently. It is made of a special material that concentrates the rays of the sun within the enclosure while eliminating harmful ultraviolet radiation. Products dried are free from contaminants and are hygienic.
The parabolic shaped solar dryer is a need-based technology because virtually when we travel all over the country, you will see by the roadside, you see people drying all sorts of agricultural produce. Some spread their own on bare ground, and by the time the vehicles are moving, the dust stay on the products. The reptiles will come, they will eat whatever they can eat, drop their feces and their urine on it, and the owner comes in the evening to pack everything together and still eat that product. And the product has been contaminated, and we feel this is not right, and it is part of our mandate to make sure that we set it right, and that was what led to this, so that we can solve this problem at the grassroots level. Instead of drying by the roadside, drying on just bare ground in their villages, when they have this as a drying center, everybody in the community can bring their product there, spread on the tray, and they get it dry under hygienic condition that is covered. And the dryer also have another property to screen the ultraviolet ray of the sun, which is also can cause hazard to human health.
Since then, Professor Shaributu has operated as visionary captain by restoring the council's glory with the first ever agricultural television and radio station in Nigeria, with well-equipped studios parading state-of-the-art equipment.
The Agricultural Research Council of Nigeria also has a brand new electronic library to further promote research and visualizations of deep thoughts on agricultural development in Nigeria.
The museum, located in the Senator Abdullahi Adamu Center, is an agricultural museum saddled with the responsibility of keeping records of agricultural findings, discoveries, researches for continuity and history purposes.
ARCN
Promoting agriculture. Cocoyam can be processed into more stable food so that shelf life can be extended and to process it into more consumable forms. This includes fresh or fermented paste, cocoyam flour, cereal-based chips, sun-dried slices, grits and drum-dried flakes. Cocoyam can be used industrially in making syrups, which can be used in jams, jellies and soft drinks. Proper processing methods to stabilize corn and cocoyam flour could resolve the problem of food security in cocoyam production areas. On that note, we come to the end of the program Back to Farm. On this episode, we discuss cocoyam processing and utilization. On behalf of the crew members who made it possible, the likes of Ahmed Bala on the camera, and Fatima Suleiman and Saul Buba, the usual MCR man. My name remains Joshua Isha, your farm guide any day, anytime. Many thanks for staying true. Bye for now.